The morning was cold, and the house felt even colder. A thin layer of mist covered the windows, and weak sunlight tried to enter through the dirty glass. In a small room, two siblings sat quietly on the edge of their old bed. Their names were Evan and Lena. They did not speak. They just listened. Outside their room, footsteps echoed, slow, heavy, angry. Their stepmother was awake. Evan looked at Lena and gently nodded, as if to say, "Stay calm." But Lena's hands shook. She was scared, and anyone could see why. Their stepmother was not just unkind. She was cruel with her words, and her anger was like a storm ready to break. A loud knock slammed against their door. "Get up!" their stepmother barked. Her voice was sharp like broken glass. "Today, I am done pretending. Today you are leaving." Evan opened the door slowly. Their stepmother stood there, eyes full of hate. She was holding a strange glowing device in her hand, like a small tablet, but made of light. The edges flickered with holographic symbols. It did not look human-made. She did not even look at them at first. She stared into the glowing device, whispering, "They are ready. Yes, yes, I understand. Phase 1. They will not be a problem anymore." Evan tried to speak. "Stepmother, please." She finally looked up, and her eyes were cold like winter. "You should never have been born," Lena gasped. She covered her mouth. Stepmother continued, "You are mistakes, shadows. The universe did not ask for you. I did not ask for you. I will not waste another second feeding you or hiding you. Get out of my house now." She pointed to the front door, a silent command. Evan wanted to fight back with words, but his voice was trapped inside his chest. Lena just cried quietly. They gathered what little they had, a small backpack, a broken toy, a picture of their real parents, the only memory. As they stepped outside, the cold air hit their faces. The door slammed behind them, louder than thunder. It felt like the sound was cutting their connection to the only home they ever knew. They walked away slowly, step by step, as if their feet were made of stone. After a few minutes, Evan stopped. He looked back. Through the window, their stepmother was standing, still talking to that glowing device. The hologram projected a figure, tall, shaped like a person, but with long arms and sharp outlines. It did not look human. It moved like smoke and shadow. Evan squinted. His heart beat faster. The figure nodded slowly. A voice came from the device, distorted, almost metallic. "They have left. Begin phase 1, Lena whispered, terrified. "Evan, who was that?" Evan didn't know what to say. He could only shake his head. They turned and continued walking until the house was out of sight. Hours passed. The siblings sat under a broken street lamp at the edge of town, trying to stay warm. The world around them felt larger than ever. Cars passed by without stopping. People hurried along, too busy to notice two lonely children. Then suddenly, a deep vibration shook the ground. The lamp flickered. Evan looked up at the sky. A beam of blue light cut through the clouds, and a huge ship descended. It was smooth like metal, but had a strange glow, like sunlight reflecting off water. It landed in the old industrial fields beyond town. A ramp opened, and shapes walked out. Tall, thin figures with glowing eyes. Their armor hummed. Their bodies were wrapped in technology that pulsed like a heartbeat. Lena grabbed Evan's arm. "Aliens, are they here for us?" Evan did not answer. His eyes were locked on the ship. He felt something, a pull. Like gravity, but stronger. Like destiny. The alien closest to them turned its head. It stared straight at the siblings. Across the distance, like it could see them clearly. Like it already knew them, the air grew heavy. The hairs on Evan's arms stood up. Then from behind them, a voice whispered, "You should not be here." Evan and Lena spun around. A tall figure in a dark coat stood behind a street sign. They could not see his face, but his eyes shined faintly. stepped closer and spoke in a low voice. "Run! They know you left. They will come. You must leave this place before it is too late." Evan felt a chill down his spine. "Who are you?" he asked. The man didn't reply. Instead, he slowly lifted his hand and pointed toward the sky, toward the alien ship. "They are not the only danger. Your stepmother has made a deal, and you are the price." Before Evan could speak, the man disappeared into the fog like a ghost. Lena clutched her brother's hand. "What do we do now?" Evan took a deep breath. He looked at the ship. He looked at the empty road ahead. "We survive," he said. "We rise, no matter what." And with that, their journey truly began. Rain began to fall, soft at first, and then harder, like the sky was crying for them. Evan and Lena walked through empty streets. Their shoes were wet, their clothes were heavy, and their hearts felt like they were turning to stone. Every step made a small splash. The world felt too big, too dangerous. They stopped under a broken bridge to take shelter. Cars rushed above them, sending echoes through the concrete. Lena hugged her small backpack like it was a shield. "Evan," she whispered. "Why did she hate us so much?" Evan looked at the water dripping from the ceiling. He didn't know the answer. Maybe she was scared of us," he said quietly. "Or maybe she knew something we don't." Lena wiped her tears with the sleeve of her shirt. "Are we really mistakes?" Evan turned to her and shook his head. His voice was calm but firm. "No, we are not mistakes. We just don't know who we are yet." She nodded, trusting his words, even if she didn't fully believe them. Hours passed. The rain stopped. The night came. Streetlights flickered like dying stars. Evan and Lena walked again, searching for food. They found a small shop with a broken window. Inside, shelves were dusty and half-empty. It looked abandoned. They stepped inside carefully. Evan found a half-eaten sandwich on the counter. He smelled it, checked it, and handed it to Lena. "Eat slowly," he whispered. She nodded and took small bites, like she was afraid the food would disappear. In the corner of the shop, a small TV crackled, full of static. Then, suddenly, the screen cleared. A news anchor was speaking. "Breaking news," she said. "Unidentified spacecraft landed outside the town. Government forces are investigating. Citizens are advised to stay indoors." Evan and Lena looked at each other. Their bodies froze. It felt like the world was closing in. They left the shop and walked toward the industrial field where the alien ship had landed earlier. The sky glowed faint blue in that direction, like a second sunrise. It pulled them in like a silent call. On the way, they passed an old garage. The lights were on. Tools and machine parts were scattered everywhere. The door was open, and inside, a man worked under a large engine. Sparks flew as he welded metal. Evan hesitated. Then he stepped inside. "Hello?" he called. The man slid out from under the engine. His face was older, with lines that showed years of hard work, but his eyes were warm and curious. "You two look like lost birds," he said, wiping his hands on a cloth. "What are kids doing out here at night?" Evan opened his mouth, but no words came out. Lena stepped forward. We don't have a home anymore." The man's eyes softened. "I see," he said. "The world can be cruel, but sometimes the stars are kinder." He walked to a shelf and handed them each a warm piece of bread. "Eat, you need strength." They sat on the floor near a heater. The warmth felt strange, like a forgotten dream. The man introduced himself. "Name's Arden. I fix starships. Mostly old ones, sometimes new ones, when I am lucky." Evan looked up. "Do you know anything about the ship that landed outside town?" Arden paused. His face changed. He turned off the heater fan, like he wanted silence before he spoke. "I know rumors," he said. "Some say the ships are here for trade. Others Say, they are here for something else. He walked to the window and stared at the distant blue light. Some say, they are here to collect people. Collect? Lena repeated. Her voice cracked. Arden nodded. Children, teenagers. Anyone special, anyone different. Evan felt his heart drop. His stepmother's words echoed in his mind. They were never meant to exist. Phase 1. Do you think someone made a deal with them? Evan asked slowly. Arden looked at him, surprised. Why do you ask? Evan lowered his eyes. Because our stepmother, she said things. She talked to someone through a hologram. Arden's eyebrows pulled together. A hologram communicator in this town? He shook his head. That kind of tech does not belong here. That is alien tech. Silence filled the room. The heater hummed. The world outside felt like it was holding its breath. Arden walked toward them and kneeled. Listen to me carefully, he said. You, too, are in danger. If what you say is true, those aliens are not here by accident. They are connected to you. Lena grabbed Evan's hand. What should we do? Arden took a deep breath. I can take you away from here. Not forever, but far. Enough to think. To plan. There's a spaceport not far from here. Hidden. Most people don't know about it. If we reach it, I can get you off this planet. At least for now. Evan's breath shook. Leave the planet? It sounded impossible. But if we stay? Evan asked. Arden looked toward the ship's light in the distance. If you stay, he said slowly, they will find you. The choice felt heavy, like the whole world was pressing down on them. Evan looked at Lena. She looked at him. Their eyes spoke without words. They stood. Evan said, We're ready. Arden nodded once, like he had expected that answer. Good. He said, We leave before dawn. But as they prepared to go, a soft thud hit the garage door, then another, and another. Something or someone was outside. The door handle began to turn. Arden's eyes widened. He whispered, Stay behind me. The handle clicked. The door creaked open. A shadow fell across the floor. The garage door opened slowly, the hinges crying like something old and afraid. Cold air rushed inside. The shadow stretched across the ground like a long hand. Evan stepped back. Lena hid behind him. Arden moved forward, holding a metal wrench like a shield. A figure stepped in, not an alien, but a tall human man in a long dark coat. His face was hidden in the shadows of his hood. His boots left soft marks of mud on the floor. For a moment, nobody spoke. Finally, the man lifted his head. His voice was low, calm, and strange. I am not here to harm you, he said. I am here to warn you. Arden lowered the wrench just a little. Who are you? The man pulled back his hood. His eyes were silver, shining faintly like small moons. His face looked human, but his eyes, they were not normal. My name is Kale, he said. I am between worlds. Human, but changed by the stars. Evan swallowed. Did the aliens do that to you? Kale nodded. A long time ago. Before I escaped. He turned to Evan and Lena. Your stepmother made a deal with their leaders. They want you, not for adoption, not for kindness. They want you because you are important. Lena's voice trembled. Why us? Kale stepped closer, slow and careful, like he did not want to frighten them. Your parents were part of a secret human project. A project to create children who learn faster, react quicker, and think deeper. Humans who could survive in the wider galaxy. You are those children. Evan felt like the ground was no longer stable. Like the world was made of nothing. So, we are experiments? Kale shook his head. Not experiments. Evolution. Arden looked at the siblings with new eyes, like he was seeing something powerful under the surface. If this is true, he said, we need to leave now. Kale nodded. The aliens will track the deal. They know you are gone. They are searching. A sudden sharp sound cut through the air. A loud beep from the hologram device Arden kept for his ship repairs. He checked the screen. His face drained of color. They are scanning the town, he said. Energy waves, searching for... Children, Lena clutched Evan's arm. We have to go, please. Arden grabbed the backpack, stuffed it with tools. Food and a folded map. Follow me, no noise, no delay. Kale stepped aside. I will guide you to the spaceport. I know the way. The scanners can't detect me anymore. Evan nodded. He did not trust Kale fully, but right now trust was a luxury. Survival was the priority. They left the garage and moved through the dark streets. Streetlights flickered. The sky glowed with alien blue light, brighter now like a storm of energy. The air buzzed like electricity whispering. Kale led them through side alleys, broken fences, and abandoned yards. Evan noticed Kale's steps, silent, careful, almost floating. Not normal. Lena whispered. Do you think we can really leave the planet? Evan looked up at the stars. They seemed closer now, like they were listening. I don't know, he said, but I think the stars want us to try. After an hour, they reached a large field. It looked empty, just grass and dirt. Kale walked to the center and pressed his palm against the ground. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the earth moved. A circle of grass lowered like an elevator, revealing a huge platform underneath. Lights flickered on. A hidden hangar was buried below the field. Arden let out a breath. Still here. After all these years, the hangar was massive. Ships of all shapes sat in silence, metal birds waiting to fly. Some looked patched together like old cars. Others were sleek, quiet, almost alive. The air smelled like oil and stars. Evan and Lena stared in wonder. All their fear became something new. Hope mixed with fear, like fire and ice living together. Arden led them to a medium-sized ship with blue stripes and curved wings. This one, he said. She's called Starling. She's fast. Not pretty, but fast. Kale placed a hand on the hull. The lights flickered on, like the ship recognized him. She will get you off planet, Kale said. But the sky will not be safe. They will follow. Evan stepped forward. Why are you helping us? Kale looked at him, eyes shining like starlight. Because once, someone helped me. Because the galaxy is broken, and I want to fix it. And because I believe you might be the ones who can change everything. Lena wiped her tears. We don't feel like heroes. Kale smiled sadly. Heroes never do at the beginning. They boarded the ship. Arden moved to the control panel. Strap in, he said. Once we take off, there is no coming back. Evan and Lena sat in their seats. The straps felt heavy, like destiny pulling them down and lifting them up at the same time. Kale stood at the door, watching them. If you survive, he said, remember this. Humanity is more than blood. It is choice, and you have a choice now. Rise or be hunted. Arden pressed a button. The hangar doors opened. Above them, the stars waited, shining like a path. The engines roared to life, and the Starling lifted off, rising toward the unknown. Leaving Earth behind, leaving their old lives behind, leaving childhood behind. This was the beginning. Space was different than Evan imagined. It wasn't silent. It hummed with energy, like a heartbeat made of stars. As the Starling moved away from Earth, the window showed a dark sky full of lights, planets, nebula clouds, and trails of ships leaving silver marks like shooting stars. Lena pressed her face to the glass, eyes wide. It's beautiful, she whispered. Arden focused on the controls. His hands moved fast, flipping switches and typing commands. Don't get too comfortable, he warned. Once we reach orbit, we jump to hyperspace. That's when the training begins. Evan nodded. He still felt like his heart was stuck back on Earth, but his future was up here now. Somewhere in the stars, Kale sat behind them, silent. His silver eyes reflected the passing galaxies like mirrors. After a few hours, the ship reached an orbiting station built entirely of old starship parts. Broken wings, hulls, engines. They were welded together into a floating city. The sign. On the entrance read, Station Echo, Human Refuge and Trade Dock. Arden landed the Starling near a platform. "This place is safe," he said. "Mostly. It's a station for humans who don't fit anywhere else." Kale nodded. "It's where we will train you. Your body and mind are different. They will grow faster than others. If you learn how to control those abilities, you won't just survive, you will rise." Evan didn't feel special. He felt scared. But he followed. Inside the station, people stared. Some were curious. Some were afraid. It was rare to see human children this far from Earth. A woman with cybernetic arms approached them. "New arrivals?" she asked. Arden nodded. "Refugees, special ones." She looked at Evan and Lena like she could see something invisible around them. "They carry light in their eyes," she murmured. "Hope or danger." Lena hid behind Evan. He held her hand. Their training began the next morning. Training Room 1, Mind Kale led them into a circular room with dim lights. Strange. Shapes floated, puzzles made of light and sound. Kale said, "Close your eyes, breathe, listen." Evan did. The puzzles responded to his thoughts. They moved slowly at first, then faster. He felt his brain stretch, like discovering a door that had always been there. Lena struggled. Her hands shook. "I can't do it." Evan placed his hand on her shoulder. "We'll learn together," Kale smiled. "That is your strength, unity. Never lose it." Training Room 2. Movement. Arden taught them physical control, not fighting, but balance, focus, readiness. "Your speed is not normal," Arden said. "Use it to protect, never to harm without reason." They ran obstacle courses. Evan learned to land softly. Lena learned to dodge lights before they even fired. Their bodies adapted quickly, as if they remembered something ancient. Evan fell at one point, hard enough to knock the wind out of him. Lena offered a hand. "We rise," she reminded him. Evan got up. "Always." Training Room 3. Technology. The cybernetic woman, named Mira, taught them basic ship mechanics. "You are not just passengers," she said. "If you depend on others forever, you will be weak. Learn how machines breathe." Lena shocked everyone when she repaired a broken interface in minutes. Mira stared. "You see systems like music," she whispered, "like patterns." Lena smiled for the first time since Earth. A small smile, but real. After weeks of training, Evan started noticing something strange. Whispers, not in the air, but in his mind. A feeling like someone watching from far away. One night he approached Kale. "Something is wrong," Evan said. "It feels like someone is calling me." Kale nodded slowly. "Your stepmother made a deal with an alien council called the Nursery. They are masters of mind communication. They believe humans like you are weapons. They want to control you." Evan's stomach dropped. "So, they won't stop?" "They will never stop," Kale said. "Unless you give them a reason to fear you." The next day, Lena discovered a locked room in the station. She called Evan. Inside were files. Hundreds, names, pictures, and notes. Children, teenagers, humans like them, all marked with the word phase candidates. Evan's chest tightened. Were these people taken, used, changed? Kale entered quietly. Some escaped. Some didn't. You are not alone. But many are still lost. Arden clenched his jaw. This ends with you too. You can break this chain. Evan stepped forward. His voice was stronger now. We will. But we need to know everything. Kale nodded. Then here's the truth. He pressed a button on the wall. A hologram appeared. 2 adults. A man and a woman. smiling, holding newborn babies. Evan and Lena, Kale said softly. These were your real parents. They died protecting you. They believed humanity could rise. They believed in evolution through hope, not fear. Lena covered her mouth, crying silently. Evan touched the hologram, voice breaking. They loved us. Yes, Kale said. And now the galaxy waits to see what you will become. Evan wiped his tears. We will become more. That night, alarms echoed through Station Echo. Red lights flashed. Doors locked. A voice thundered through the speakers. Unidentified. Ship approaching. Noxari signal detected. Kale's eyes turned silver like lightning. They found us. Arden yelled, to the Starling now. Evan grabbed Lena's hand. Their training was over. Their fight had begun. Asterisk. Sirens echoed through Station Echo like the heartbeat of a frightened giant. Red lights flashed again and again, painting the metal walls in warning colors. People shouted. Doors slammed. Machines powered up. It felt like the entire station was holding its breath. Evan held Lena's hand while running with Arden and Kale through the narrow corridors. Lena's voice shook. Are they coming for us? Kale nodded once. The Nursery do not chase out of anger, they chase out of purpose. They believe you belong to them. Arden's footsteps were heavy with worry. If they board the station, we lose. We need to leave before they latch on. They reached the docking platform. The Starling waited, engines already humming. But before they could board, a blast of blue energy shook the space outside. Through the viewing window, a massive dark ship entered view, alien, smooth like glass, but lined with glowing veins of blue and green. It was like a living creature, not a machine. Kale stared. That is a Noxari collector-class vessel. They don't send those for ordinary missions. What does that mean? Evan asked. Kale's eyes narrowed. It means you are extremely important to them. Lena looked up at the giant ship. She felt like a tiny spark beside a burning star. Why us? She whispered. Kale didn't answer. They boarded the Starling. Arden locked in the controls and began warm-up for takeoff. Kale stood near the back, his silver eyes dimming with focus. Before we escape, you need to know who you are. All of it. If I hide the truth now, you will never be ready. Evan nodded. His heart was shaking, but his mind demanded answers. Tell us. Kale took a slow breath. Years ago, humans discovered signals from deep space. Maps inside the signals showed star systems and unknown worlds. Scientists believed the universe wanted humanity to join it, not as visitors, but as equals. Our parents? Lena asked, voice small. Yes, Kale said. Your parents were leaders of this project. Their mission was to create a new kind of human, one who could survive outside Earth, understand alien languages, adapt faster than computers, and think beyond human limits. Evan swallowed hard. So we are engineered? Enhanced, Kale corrected. Not artificial, not fake, just more than what humans were before. You are the bridge between worlds. Arden glanced back from the controls. But their project scared the wrong people. Some humans wanted control. Some aliens wanted to erase the idea completely. Your parents were hunted. Lena hugged her knees. And they died because of us? Kale knelt down in front of her. No, they died. Because they believed you had the right to exist. That is not your burden. That is your inheritance. Evan stared at the floor. Suddenly everything made sense. The stepmother's hatred, the strange hologram, the alien's interest, the way his mind felt too loud sometimes. He finally understood. We were never mistakes, he whispered. Kale nodded. Correct. You were never meant to hide. You were meant to rise. The Starling shook as the collector-class ship locked a tractor beam onto the station. The docking platform trembled, sparks falling like stars breaking apart. Arden cursed under his breath. We don't have time. Seatbelts now. Evan and Lena buckled in. Cale placed his hand on a glowing pad, linking his mind to the flight systems. The engines flared to life. Arden shouted, "Launching in 3, 2, 1. The Starling fired forward, breaking from the station's magnetic field. The ship sped into open space, only to be blocked by the massive collector ship, its shadow covering them. A voice entered the cockpit, not through speakers but inside their minds. "Children of Project Dawn, return to us. You are needed. You are property. You are Phase 1 completed." Lena covered her ears. "Stop, stop, make it stop." Evan clenched his fists. The voice echoed inside him like thunder. Cale gritted his teeth. "Nursery mental link. They're trying to control your fear. Resist. Imagine a wall. Imagine a barrier. You are not theirs." Evan closed his eyes and imagined a wall tall, strong, shining. He felt Lena do the same beside him. The voice weakened. "You cannot run," it said. "We will take you." Evan opened his eyes. "No, you won't." Arden hit the hyperspace lever. For a moment, space bent around them like folded paper. The stars stretched into bright lines. The Starling launched into hyperspace, tearing away from the collector ship. Silence returned. Hours passed. The Starling floated in quiet space. The stars outside were calm, safe. Lena finally spoke. "Evan, what do we do now?" Evan looked at her, and for the first time, he did not feel like a scared kid. He felt like someone becoming something more. "We learn who we are," he said. "We find others like us. We stop them from hurting anyone else. And one day, we go back." Cale smiled sadly. "Back for revenge?" Evan shook his head. "No, not revenge. Justice." Lena nodded. "Justice for our parents." Arden looked out at the stars. "Then we need a plan, a path, and all eyes." Cale closed his eyes. "I know where to start. A place where the galaxy's lost go to be found. A place called Nova Reach." Evan took a deep breath. Their journey wasn't ending. It was opening, like a door in the universe, and they were walking through it. Hyperspace faded like a dream breaking apart. The Starling slowed, stars returning to their normal shapes. In front of them hung a planet covered in swirling blue storms and glowing cities, built on floating islands. Nova Reach. It looked like a star made of buildings and light, suspended in darkness. Lena pressed her palms to the glass. "It's like a city in the sky." Arden nodded. "It is. A sanctuary. And a trap if we are not careful." Cale stood behind them, arms folded. His silver eyes reflected Nova Reach. "There are people here who will help you. And people who will betray you. Do not trust easily." Evan felt it, something inside the planet calling him, like gravity made of memory. "Are there others like us here?" he asked. Cale nodded. "Some escaped, some were never caught. They hide here, they learn here. They plan here." Arden guided the ship down toward a docking ring full of ships of every shape and size. Human, alien, and strange machines shaped like flowers and animals made of metal. When the Starling landed, the doors opened to a busy market. Voices echoed in dozens of languages. Smells of food, smoke, and ozone blended. Lights blinked and flickered like neon stars for a moment. Evan and Lena forgot to be afraid. But then Cale spoke. "Stay close." They walked through the market. People stared. Some with curiosity, others with fear. A few with recognition, a woman. With data screens instead of eyes whispered as they passed. Project Dawn. Alive. Evan's heartbeat jumped. They reached a tall building made of smooth black metal. At the entrance stood guards wearing armor shaped like wings. They allowed Cale to pass but stopped the others. Cale turned and said, "They come with me. They are under my protection." The guards looked at each other and stepped aside. Inside, the building opened into a large council chamber. Holograms floated in the air, maps of star systems, photos of missing people, symbols of different alien governments. At the center sat a woman with silver hair and a coat of emerald green. Her eyes were sharp and knowing. She motioned for them to come forward. "I am Counselor Cerise," she said. "Welcome, children of Project Dawn." Evan and Lena stood still. Their names felt too heavy in this place. Cerise looked at Kale. "You brought them here." "That means the Nursery are moving," Kale nodded. "They sent a collector-class ship." Voices whispered around the room. Fear. Shock. Cerise turned to Evan and Lena. Her tone was firm, but not unkind. "Do you know what you are now? What you could be?" Evan swallowed. "We are a new kind of human." Lena added quietly, "People who were meant to rise." A small smile touched Cerise's lips. "Yes, but rising is not enough. You must decide what direction you rise in. If you fall into chaos, you will destroy worlds. If you rise with purpose, you will change them." Arden stepped forward. "They need time, training, allies." Cerise nodded. "Then they shall have them. But first, they must face their past." The room darkened. A hologram formed in front of them, an image of a small familiar house. Their house, Earth. Evan's breath froze. Cerise said, "Your stepmother is making new deals. She has become a contact point for Nursery scouts. If she continues, more children will be taken. More families will be broken." Lena shook. "We have to stop her." Evan felt something new in his chest. Not fear, not rage. Direction. Kale placed a hand on their shoulders. "You do not have to hate her. You only have to stop her." Cerise stepped closer. "You will return to Earth. Not to live, but to close the door behind you." The trip back felt shorter, though hours passed. The starling descended into Earth's atmosphere like a falling comet. Evan and Lena watched their old town appear. Still small, still quiet, still full of ghosts. Arden parked the ship in the forest outside their old neighborhood. They walked the final distance on foot. The house looked exactly the same, like time had paused. Their stepmother was outside, packing small glowing devices into a crate. She turned and froze when she saw them. "You," she whispered. Shock, fear, anger, it all flickered across her face. "You survived." Evan took a step forward. His voice was steady. "We did more than survive." Lena stood beside him. "We chose to rise." Their stepmother's hands trembled. "The Nursery promised me protection. Money, power. I did what I had to." "You were nothing but," Evan interrupted. "We are not here to hurt you." She stared, confused, uncertain. "We are here to end this," Evan said. "No more deals, no more children." Lena nodded. "We are not your property, and neither is anyone else." Their stepmother sank to her knees. For the first time she looked small. "I was afraid," she said, voice breaking. "They said the world was changing, that humans had no place in the stars, that only power could save us." Evan shook his head. "Power doesn't save. People do." Lena whispered. "We forgive you, but we will not follow you." Evan set the last alien device on the ground. Kale stepped forward, pressed a button, and the devices melted into harmless dust. The connection was broken. Forever. Evan turned. Lena followed. Together, they walked away. Arden waited on the path. Kale faced them. "What now?" Evan looked at the sky. "Now, we go back to the stars. There are other children, other people like us. We find them. We help them. We stop the Nursery, not with fear, with strength." Lena smiled softly. "With justice." Arden placed a hand on their shoulders. "Then your journey begins again." And the three of them walked toward the starling, toward the stars, toward their future. *. The starling rose from Earth for the last time. leaving the blue planet behind like a memory fading in the distance. Evan and Lena stood near the window, watching home become smaller and smaller until it was just a glowing dot in the darkness. Lena took a slow breath. "We are not coming back, are we?" Evan shook his head. "Not until the galaxy is safe. Not until others are free." Kale stood nearby, cloak brushing the floor like a shadow. "The Nursery will not stop because of one broken deal. They will adapt. They always adapt." Arden tightened his straps. "Then we adapt faster." The starling entered hyperspace again. Stars stretched, becoming silver rivers across the windows. Evan felt calm this time. He was no longer afraid of what he didn't know. He was ready to meet it. When they reached Nova Reach, the council was waiting. Counselor Cerise stood at the landing pad with others beside her. Humans, aliens, hybrids like Kale. They all looked serious, but there was something else in their eyes now. Hope's eyes approached them. "Your return from Earth marks a turning point. Many worlds are watching. The Nursery grow bolder. But so do we." Evan stepped forward. "We want to help, not just run. Not just hide." Lena nodded. "We want to save the others, like us. Like Kale, like the children on the files." Cerise looked at Kale. "Is this what you believe as well?" Kale met her gaze. "They are stronger than you think. Not because of power, because of heart." Cerise studied the siblings for a long moment. Then she spoke to everyone. "Then the time has come. The galaxy needs a symbol. A sign that humanity does not bow, that humans do not break. The council will create a new division. A group to protect those hunted by the Nursery. A group that rises where others fall. A group led by the children of Project Dawn." The room filled with whispers, surprised voices, cautious excitement. Arden blinked. "A team? You expect them to lead a team?" Cerise replied. "Not alone. With us, with everyone who stands for what is right." She turned back to Evan and Lena. "This will be the beginning of something greater. If you say yes." Evan looked at Lena. Lena looked at Evan. And together, they said, "Yes." Their training changed after that. It was no longer about survival. It was preparation. They learned how to communicate with alien peoples, how to send rescue signals across hidden channels, how to protect minds from psychic links like the Nursery's. Evan discovered his greatest strength was strategy. He could see patterns, guess actions before they happened. Lena's strength was empathy. She could calm others, create trust, find connection where others found fear. "Power is not only ability," Kale told them one day. "Power also comes from knowing who you are and why you fight." Evan answered, "We fight so no one feels like we did." Lena added, "We fight so humanity has a future in the stars." Months passed. Missions began. The Starling wasn't just a ship anymore. It was a rescue beacon. A symbol. Slowly, quietly, worlds took notice. The Nursery lost control of planets they once dominated. Small groups of survivors formed alliances. Humans and aliens worked together. People began to talk. The Dawn children are coming. Humanity is changing. Why? Humanity finds a way. It became a whisper in every corner of space. One day, during a meeting, Cerise entered the room with a message in her hand. She looked disturbed. Kale read her face. "What is it?" Cerise placed the message on the table. "A signal, a distress call. Someone has escaped the Nursery. They are asking for help." Arden frowned. "Where?" Cerise slowly turned to the star map. The hologram lit up. It was the Collector-class ship, the same one that chased them. Lena gasped. They escaped from that. Evan felt his heartbeat speed up. The Collector ship was their past, their fear, their first enemy. Kale looked at the siblings. "We do not run from our past. We face it, together." Evan took a deep breath. "Then we go," Cerise nodded. You understand that this will not be a rescue mission. It will be a message. Evan answered, Good, then let the message be clear. Back on the Starling, as the engines warmed, Lena sat quietly, staring at the stars. Evan, she whispered, do you ever wonder what our parents would think of us now? Evan smiled softly. Every day. But I think they'd say the same. Thing, what? Lena asked. That we are more than what the universe tried to make us. We are what we choose to be. She smiled too, a real smile, full of fire and light. Arden turned in his seat. Ready? Cale stood beside them, his silver eyes calm. Prepare yourselves. The future is watching. Evan and Lena clasped hands. Let it watch, Evan said. Let it see us rise. Lena finished. Arden hit the hyperspace lever. The Starling leapt forward, a streak of light breaking across the dark, toward the Collector, toward the enemy, toward the next chapter of humanity. The stars opened like doors, and humanity stepped through, unafraid.